This is Michael Kowalski, writer and performer of Mothman, True Story, and you are listening to the Unbelievers Podcast. I know you wouldn't like it.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you up inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan? I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything. You know, just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
war, and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby recovered right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
Rhinelander, Wisconsin, a city known best for its rivers, lakes, and swamps. But that's not all that Rhinelander is known for. Tonight, the Unbelievers Podcast returns with another lesser-known cryptid from the heartland, a monster as obscure as it is terrifying, whose legend dates back to the days of Tall Tales and Paul Bunyan, and is still cited and celebrated to this day. Are the legends true? Is Wisconsin home to a mythical beast? Does it have any merch or a festival associated with it? Well, let's find out now, as we take a deep dive into all things cryptid in Rhinelander and discuss a unique and terrifying and totally not made up boogeyman from the land of beer and cheese, whose legacy of horror and marketing has lasted over 100 years. It's time now for the Hodag. Right here on the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers Podcast. I'm your host, Russ Ryan, and joining me as always is my co-host, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
Hello, Russ Ryan.
And first-time guest, Unbeliever Aaron, a.k.a. Aaron Shilp himself. Hey, Aaron.
Hello. What's up?
And our soundboard engineer and producer, Rob Oakey.
Crap yourself right there in the middle of a stream.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Rob.
How you doing?
I want to say welcome. First-time co-hosting tonight, Aaron Shilp. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to finally be on here. Been years and years and years of listening to the unbelievable stuff, so it's cool to finally be behind the mic.
Yeah. If people don't know, Aaron is a musician. He is now a podcaster. He is a longtime Unbeliever and friend of the show, and he wrote our theme song that you hear in the beginning, season 1 and 2, opening theme.
Oh, yeah.
That is all Aaron right there.
And quite a few of those other things we do in the show here also.
Yeah. And a lot of the clips you hear going in the segment. And he did a great, man, we got to have to play it again sometime, but he did a great cover of the Lizard Man Stomp. Absolute classic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I completely forgot about that.
I know, I was going to say, how dare I forget about that, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get another song out of him from this, because we are going to be talking about, very weird cryptid tonight, so let's just get into it. It's the Hodag. That's a Hodag song. It's got a little Lizard Man vibe. That is the Hodag song from Rob Lefty LaRue Letvinchuk.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's a long
kind of a
name.
clunky name, but yeah, that's a great Hodag song from him. Yes.
Lefty LaRue?
Yes,
like,
Rob Lefty LaRue.
Lefty LaRue, why didn't you say so?
Yeah, I love Rob Lefty LaRue.
I love
One of my favorites.
No,
what is
like
he talking
the
about?
right-handed LaRue. You don't want to deal with that guy.
That's
what is this guy talking about, though? What is a Hodag? So tonight we're going to be discussing another lesser-known American cryptid. This time it's from Wisconsin. It's the Hodag. And I asked you, Drea, had you ever heard of this guy before?
Heck no. It sounds like a sandwich.
What about you, Aaron? You ever heard of a Hodag?
Never once in my entire life.
All right, well, we're going to unlearn a lot tonight because according to the internet, the Hodag is a fearsome critter resembling a large bull-horned carnivore with a row of thick, curved spines down its back, prehistoric in suggestion. The Hodag was said to be born from the ashes of cremated oxen as the incarnation of the accumulation of abuse the animals had suffered at the hands of their masters.
What the fuck?
Yeah. The history of the Hodag is strongly tied to the city of Rhinelander, where it was claimed to have been discovered, and the Hodag has featured prominently in Paul Bunyan stories. Wow, Paul Bunyan stories. So this is indeed a very old-timey cryptid.
No kidding. I'm familiar with Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox. Maybe I should have read more of his books.
I think it's a lesser tier villain that maybe him and Babeface off.
Just one of those reoccurring characters off on the side that nobody really likes.
Yeah, well, one place likes it. We're going to learn a little bit more about it now, because here are some clips from a show called Boogeyman Monsters Among Us, who dedicated an entire episode to the Hodag. And the source of these stories of the Hodag comes from a city in Wisconsin known as Rhinelander, a city best known for its rivers, lakes, and swamps. But that's not all Rhinelander is known for.
According to local legend, a terrifying creature stalks these swamps and forests. Not only has it been spotted by eyewitnesses for over 100 years, but one has even been captured.
It's out there. It's in the woods. And there are even rumors early on that he ate human flesh.
I truly believe that I've seen the Hodag.
It's black. It has horns up its back, big claws, a horn on its wrists.
Claws. Rip the belly from any beast.
It was so scary.
I've been actually searching for the Hodag for 40 years.
And the Hodag came barreling out from the bushes, bit him in half, just like that.
According to eyewitnesses, the Hodag lives and hunts in deep, dense swamps. The habitat is so impenetrable and difficult to access, the creature has managed to avoid being captured.
Yeah, it's a very unique creature. It looks like, it's so hard to describe. It's like a little dinosaur, almost elephant. How would you describe it?
I mean, it has qualities of like a boar. It looks like it could just be a really spiny boar, but I'm confused by the renditions because it kind of looks scaly in some and furry in other ones.
Kind of looks like a stegosaurus and a warthog had a baby.
Yeah, totally does like that. Yeah, that dinosaur vibe, right? That they were talking about.
It looks like something that belongs in like Where the Wild Things Are. It's kind of that. It's got that kind of a vibe, and all the illustrations of it have that kind of a vibe.
Nailed it.
Yeah, and as we heard in there, those descriptions, they're all over the place. So let's see if the narrator can give a more streamlined summation of what this Hodag looks like.
Eyewitness and newspaper reports describe a hideous creature with the head of a frog, the grinning face of an elephant, thick short legs set off by razor-sharp claws, dinosaur-like horns running down its back, and a long tail with spears at the end. According to people who have seen the beast, they also say its skin is either black or green.
This is not much better. It's black, it's green, there's some spikes, they're on here.
And then they called it skin, so it's just skin?
Scales, skin, spikes on tails.
Do we have, I know we have rhinos that have, they're mammals and they have horns, and then bulls, but like I said, this thing they're describing as being kind of, in marshes and swamps, wouldn't it be like,
it sounds like a mixture between like a hog and like a snapping turtle or something like that. With like the horns, because those things kind of have like horns on their back. Sometimes they've got like weird formations. Sometimes
I think of video games now.
Well, yeah,
sounds like a video game villain. That's what this sounds like, a video game villain.
It does kind of look like a Koopa Troopa.
It sounds like a creator monster.
Yes.
Where all got a frog head. Yeah,
it's Bowser.
A frog head.
Very Bowserish.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, well, so this cryptid has one thing going for it that most others do not. It has not only been photographed, this thing has been captured. So let's hear about that from Rhinelander's best storyteller ever.
In 1896, supposedly, it's been said that Gene Shepard captured the Hodag. And how did he capture it? He had a 10-foot bamboo pole. He had a huge sponge soaked in chloroform. And he managed to find out when the Hodag was in its cave and worked his way up there with that sponge and that chloroform and got the Hodag to go to sleep. Then he brought the townspeople out there, brought it back to his house, and showed it for years and years. Brought it around to county fairs and made money showing the Hodag.
Man, this guy was just made to tell Hodag stories. He is amazing.
Dude, I mean, he's a good storyteller, but this sounds like a really horrific story of like rape. He'd been like stalking this thing, like, and somehow we found out exactly the Hodag schedule, when it came back from yoga class and when it wants to go.
Because who doesn't go hunting with a sponge and chloroform?
Yeah, for real.
Whoa. Make sure you bring your bamboo pole, too. That was a great practical social distance way of catching a monster. You get a bamboo stick with chloroform. And we'll have to post a pic, because there is a picture of this Hodag that he caught, and there's all these locals all standing around it with bamboo poles, as if they're all chloroforming this thing.
Are we going to talk about the picture right now? Are we going to talk about
Well, yeah, this is it. They took a picture with this. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about the picture. We've all seen the picture of the reported captured Hodag. This thing, it looks like it's made out of either wood or it looks like a statue. It doesn't look like
it looks like
real
really
animal.
Taxidermy. It doesn't look
like
natural.
papier-mâché.
There you go. It looks like it's just like it was created. It totally does not look.
It looks like a really well done pinata.
Yeah, a pinata. Exactly.
That is
it's kind of got a
exactly what it
pinata
looks
thing
like.
to it.
This
If a
thing won the
pinata
pinata
came to life.
contest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure it ever came to life. It looks like. I mean, look at also the teeth. Can we talk about the teeth?
They caught it. Chloroformed it with a bamboo pole. And there is more to this tale of Gene Shepard and the Hodag, so let's hear.
According to Gene Shepard, he first encounters the beast in 1893 in the McNaughton Swamp just north of Rhinelander. When he gets home, he sketches the creature, and his story is immediately picked up by the local newspaper. 3 years later, he returns to the swamp with several men to try to capture the elusive creature.
It was a unique creature, and Gene Shepard decided he needed to make some money off of this creature he found, and so he started to show it at the county fairs right around the turn of the century, from 1800s to the 1900s, and he showed it there very successfully and actually made himself quite a few dollars doing it. However, Gene Shepard was a braggart, a drunkard, a womanizer, and he died broke and divorced. And he just didn't know how to handle his money.
Or his
Okay,
women.
allegedly. He is not around to defend himself, this Gene Shepard, but he doesn't really sound like a great guy.
It really shits all over him at the end there. That was crazy.
No
man.
redeeming quality.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that we know of. He's not around to defend himself, even though, like, that's the best time to make fun of somebody is when they're dead and they can't defend themselves. But
yeah, but this guy seems. If you're going to hear more about this guy, I think Gene Shepard's his hero, and he knows his values. He seems to know him very well.
Yeah, and he seems proud of him. He didn't say that with disdain in his voice. Like, he didn't know how to handle his money.
He's aspiring to this, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you spend your 25 cents to go into that tent to see the Hodag, and then you see this pinata sitting there in some bushes, and you're like, what
the hell
am I even looking at right now? What is this?
Damn, that's a fancy pinata.
Okay, but maybe this isn't it, but it wasn't just Gene Shepard in the 1890s, because there are many modern sightings as well, as we're going to hear now from a man named Jerry the Riverboat Captain.
Right up until his death in 1923, Shepard maintains he did encounter and capture a Hodag. Jerry carries on the Hodag tradition with today's paying customers, but he adds his own personal touch to the legend. Jerry isn't just fooling around when he tells his audience that the creature exists. He really believes it, because one day, just like Gene Shepard, Jerry came face to face with the monstrous creature.
Now, I mentioned back at that island that this could be the area where a Hodag would be sighted. Well, it's possible. It has water, and a Hodag does enjoy some clams and mud turtles and a few water snakes. But it likes a nice swampy area.
Yeah, see, this guy gives boat tours, and he is all about the Hodag. He keeps the Hodag tradition up.
Yeah.
Almost single-handedly.
It seems like it. Yeah, he's very, he uses all of his time for this, I guess, which is fine. You know,
and he is a boat captain, so he takes people on like river tours and swamp tours in his boat, and he just regales them with tales of the Hodag. So let's hear more from Jerry the boat driver about the Hodag encounter that he experienced while walking through the swampy Hodag-infested woods.
And all of a sudden, I am stopped short in my tracks, like dead in my tracks. because a smell assaulted my nose. A stink that could only be described as so strong it would drive a skunk off a gut pile. And here it comes walking down the pathway. And as it gets closer, I notice that its eyes were glowing green, that its nose was flaring red. And as it appeared closer and closer, all of a sudden, with cat-like agility, it sprung upon a log right in front of me. And that's when I very carefully, I reached into my top pocket and I took out my iPhone. And I commenced to take as quiet a picture as I possibly could. And then, without making any sudden movements, I very carefully backed away from that critter and hightailed it out of there.
All right. See, a first-hand encounter. So this Hodag stinks, and he's very agile for a spiky, like, swamp monster.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think of when I saw the photo of it. I was like, that thing probably gets around.
Let's talk about why this thing stinks so much and like what is wrong with its biology that it smells so bad that it would, what did he say, like run a skunk off of a gut pile or something?
Skunks can get off a gut pile for it. Yeah, this because it's a weird
I've never heard that before. Never heard that phrase ever.
I don't want to hear it ever again.
A gut pile? Is that what he said?
That's not a thing.
Well, you've never seen a pile of guts?
Pile of gut.
Most skunks hang out on gut piles?
Right?
Cryptids, though, cryptids resemble things that we know, like in the real world. A lot of them, you know, a Bigfoot or I don't know what a lizard man would be, maybe an alligator. But this isn't close to anything. This is close to like 5 things put together. It's really, really strange.
It does seem like a hodgepodge. Mod Podge?
Hodgepodge. I think you got it.
Hodgepodge.
You got it.
I'm just so confused now with the gut piles.
I think it's actually pronounced Hodag is how it's actually.
Oh right,
pronounced.
Hodag. My bad.
Yeah.
It's just a big old mix of shit.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Jerry and Jean, they aren't the only ones who have seen this Hodag up close. So here is a young girl named Desiree French who has this encounter while climbing a tree.
And I saw him. He was black, very black, lots of spikes going. He had 2 on his head and then at least 15 going down to his back and quite a few on his tail. It was scary. So, I kind of froze up and then I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It was definitely a Hodag, flaring red nostrils. The stench was horrendous. I knew what I saw and I ran.
See, this girl actually sounds fairly credible. She's just a young girl playing out in a tree. Why would she lie about something like this?
Whatever, man. I don't trust little girls. I don't trust anyone. They always seem like they're up to something.
In the beginning of that, she says, I was just hanging out in a tree like I always do.
You know.
She just hangs out in this tree all the time.
Regular day.
Some kids are weird, man. Some kids are weird, but that's
no
a
tree house,
thing,
no friends. I was just hanging out in a tree.
Just chilling in this tree.
Okay, now that you described it that way, there were plenty of times I would just take a book out into my backyard and climb this ledge on the gazebo and then occasionally fall off. So I get it.
But it's not a tree in the woods. There's a little bit of a difference between that and going into the woods.
If my backyard was the woods, then it would have been a tree instead of a gazebo.
It did look like her backyard. Like her backyard was just the woods. So that kind of adds up.
That helps.
She didn't mention the stink. Maybe he was being stealthy. So beyond the eyewitness accounts, the Hodag also has a body count because this is a terrifying real monster. This has killed people. So here is the tale of one such victim of Hodag violence, a man named Shorty Matusik.
There's not too many stories known, true stories about what happened to some of the victims of the Hodag, but Shorty Matusik was a victim of the Hodag. He was a fireman on the train, and the train used to stop at a little town called Roosevelt on the north side of the Moons chain. So the red light was out, the train stopped. Shorty Matusik was the fireman. There was nobody at the station. It was a dark and foggy night. He left the train, which was his mistake. He looked to see what was going on up and down the tracks, and the Hodag came barreling out from the bushes, bit him in half, just like that.
It bit him in half. I don't know how this thing could bite anything the way it looks. I mean, it has a big mouth, but
what?
Damn. Yeah.
It bit him in half?
How
that
tiny
thing would have to be huge.
Yeah,
like an alligator?
Although we don't know how big this guy named Shorty is.
That's true. That's actually a really good point. That's actually a really, really good point.
as small in stature as the Hodag appears to be. Who knows? It could be a big Hodag and a shorty Matusik. Put those together, you could pretty
giant Hodag and a shorty
right.
Matusik. He could have swallowed him up in one. Who knows?
You know, if it was a normal sized guy, I probably would have just chopped him at the knees. But since it was Shorty, got him right down the middle, man.
Or like at the
guy.
neck, depending. You don't know where he came at him. Like, Christ, we don't know enough about how this thing jumped.
Split him in the middle. Cut him in half.
It's a really gruesome tale. Very, very gruesome. Here's a little detail about this guy's funeral, his gruesome funeral.
Now, the only thing about this is he had to be buried. And, of course, Father Himmelsbach had to come and say, okay, we can have an open casket, but it's not often that you have the bottom of the casket open. Of course, that's all that was left to a Shorty was the bottom. So they tacked a little satin curtain at the top so you couldn't up in there. And he wore new shoes, and everybody came to the funeral of Shorty Matusek, bitten in half by the Hodag.
Why are they bothering with an open casket? To see some dead guy's shoes? This makes no sense.
I think probably, look, all right, if you heard about a guy that was bitten in half or had some kind of crazy thing and was attacked by a cryptid, you'd want to see, you know. They're like, okay, you can have an open casket, but you better behave.
He's got his new fishing sneakers. I'm surprised Rob didn't bust out with that yet. What a strange funeral to go.
Sneakers to a funeral?
The way we'll always remember you. And he was short, so it was probably...
The way we always remembered you.
And it swallowed the upper half of him? It ate his head and his arms and stuff?
No, the lower half.
How big is this thing's mouth?
No, his lower half survived. That was all that was left of Shorty Matusik. So
that's all you need.
They gave
we
him
just got to see the short legs in the casket.
It's such a weird image.
Legs. Oh, we don't want to know why he was really named Shorty. I get it. So only the legs were left. Nothing beyond that. Okay.
I would love to see some listener art of just the coffin with just the legs.
Just legs.
Just legs.
They could get a child-sized coffin and put just the legs in it, right?
I'll send you something special if you do that.
He might have had that.
Well, guess what? I'm sold.
Yeah, I guess me too. But they also talked to a woman named Paula Barbane, who is a descendant of Gene Shepard. You know, the guy who knocked out the Hodag with the chloroform?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Bill Cosby.
Descendant.
Don't forget the sponge.
All right, hold on now. And she had this to say.
It's a family secret. We can't really tell much. Where to see the Hodag. So, some people think maybe it's a hoax, but it's a family secret. It would be like telling where your favorite blueberry patch was. You just never talk about that.
Wait, hold on. You can't protect this thing, Paula. This thing killed Shorty Matusik. You can't hide it like your favorite blueberries.
I mean, have you never had to, cover for a family member? They're as precious as blueberries.
The Hodag is not their family member.
But it's like a family secret, just like the blueberries. You don't
just
talk
like the
about
blueberries. We've all got that one special spot we don't want anybody else to go.
You don't tell anybody about your blueberry patch.
Never.
Come on.
Oh my God, Russ, are you trying to tell me that you're the kind of person that goes and tells everybody where your blueberry patch is? That's disgusting.
If it's a Hodag infested blueberry patch, yes, I'm taking the boys out there.
You know what, Russ, you're right. Technically, she's aiding and abetting in a murder. She's an accomplice. She's an accomplice at this point.
Oh shit, you're right. That's even worse than obstruction of justice. She's an accomplice.
Justice for Shorty.
Well, hey man, protect your blueberries.
The gig is up, okay, Paula Barbane. You've been exposed. Another Rhinelander who is a firm believer in the Hodag is an artist named Rod Umloff, who had an encounter with the beast while camping with his uncle Dick when he was a kid.
Wait, what's his name?
No.
So this is from
his name is Rod and his uncle is Dick?
Another
Are you
Rod,
serious?
And then this is too good to be true.
So we got a young man named Rod Umloff. His uncle Dick takes him camping, and they had this encounter many years later.
10 years ago, I was snowshoeing, and in the evening, I saw a group of Hodags, not close, but there's a lot of dead trees, and I was up on a hill, so I was just like, unbelievable, because, I'd heard stories about the Hodag, but people would, just talk about one, but here there's, a group of them. And I wasn't sure whether to call it a herd of Hodags or a pack of Hodags, but that was about 10 years ago. Of course, I had to paint that.
Yeah, so this guy Rod, he paints a lot of Hodag art, and you got me a little off early yet. When he was camping with his Uncle Dick as a kid, they had an encounter with the Hodag, and he saw a group or a herd or a murder of Hodags many years later, and he paints...
There's rods on your tape.
Rod Umloff's whole gig is he paints Hodags, just tons of Hodags.
Wow. Cool.
Flock of Hodags.
I'm glad he was bent up on the terminology and not the fact that he saw a bunch of these cryptids together.
Yeah. I mean, I would be, though. Like, that was my first thought when I heard this. I'm like, is it a swarm, a flock? Is it just, Yeah, I like that you called it a murder of Hodags. That's good.
Well, you guys saw this show. You saw this Hodag art. I thought it was pretty good.
It is.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I like it. I would
well,
hang it in
well
my
done.
room.
Yeah, it totally
sure.
looks like the cover of like a fantasy novel. Not just because of what it is, but the style that it's done in. But if you look at his other nature stuff, like that salmon or trout or something flopping in the sunset over a body of water, it looks really awesome.
Yeah. I want a Hodag from Rod in my house too. They also speak to a Hodag skeptic named Jim Nuttall, who wonders why no hunters have ever come across and captured a Hodag.
Well, in the fall, we have hunters that are just completely filling all of the land of around Rhinelander that are hunting. And although, maybe a Hodag can hide under a bush to be concealed, but if it stinks so much that you can smell it within 100 yards, you'd think sooner or later somebody would say, I smelled a Hodag. I'm going to track it down. I'm going to take a picture of it. And yet I don't see any pictures, or what there are, they're staged shots.
Wait, what do you mean stage shots? Is he calling Gene Shepard or Jerry the Boat Guy or Captain a liar? Because we've talked about a couple of pictures so far. He's saying they're staged.
I mean, that's just like his opinion, man.
He wasn't there. He doesn't know.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't at all.
Yeah, anybody can say that anything is fake. We all know that.
We've all seen the moon landing.
I think
Stan Romanek.
if you bring up the fact that this thing stinks and that there's hunters out there who haven't seen it, well, people say the same thing about Bigfoot. Bigfoot stinks really bad too, and hunters aren't running across him either. So
But they're elusive. That's the thing that I don't get, is that apparently it's a very small concentrated region that this thing is at. It doesn't seem to be traveling beyond this region. And there's been eyewitnesses, and that little girl's like, yeah, it stunk. Like, well, if it was so close to your backyard, how come hunters aren't smelling it and seeing it?
Everyone in town should have a bamboo stick and chloroform at the ready.
Yes, I think everybody should, even in an urban environment. You never know.
Smell that? So he talks about stage pictures, and that Jerry the boat captain, he said he took a picture with his iPhone. So let's hear about the picture, Jerry.
Alas, upon getting home, my battery was dead. While I'm searching for the charger, my cats decided to use the phone as a kickball, and they shattered it beyond belief. But I did see it. It is real. And I only had one cocktail.
Okay, this doesn't add up. Look, I'm no tech guy. I'm no tech guy, but Rob, is it possible for a cat to so thoroughly destroy an iPhone that the photos can't be retrieved?
How big is this cat? Because
it's about Hodag size.
That takes some weight.
About the size of a Hodag.
My cat couldn't do it. I don't think.
No, she's sweet.
They're too unassuming. I don't know, man. Like, it depends. Some of those southern... Actually, where are we? We're in Wisconsin in this one.
Oh, yeah, that's northern.
Yeah, I don't know about cats in Wisconsin. I can't really speak on this one.
These grass-fed cats, using it like a kickball. I couldn't imagine.
But he only had one cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing to take away from this. And he was very convincing when he said that it was
I only had one cocktail.
I did not pregame.
So I guess we can throw this picture out. Jerry, the picture doesn't exist. Jerry just says he took it and makes up the most ridiculous story of all time.
I believe him.
But what about that original 1890s Hodag photo from Gene Shepard? Those are legit, right?
Yeah, those are, you can take them in like the middle of action. Like you get those really quick shots while everything's going on.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely doesn't look like they have to stand still forever.
Yeah, it's impossible to use a black and white filter.
It doesn't look like a piñata at all.
No, yeah, not at all. And I mean, obviously, here's what I initially thought when I saw it, just to kind of give them a little bit of credit, was I thought that, okay, we captured this thing, it's dead, we then taxidermied it, and then had fun posing with it. But even then, dude, even with the taxidermy, like I said, can we please talk about its teeth?
It's smiling.
It looks like it's got dentures, dude. It's got like these flat human teeth, like, super cheesy grin. How?
It's a weird monster. Let's hear legitimacy of this picture.
You'll find some pictures that Gene Shepard himself took of the Hodag, of townspeople standing around attacking the Hodag and so on. But it's a pretty stiff-looking creature. It seems to be taxidermically perfectly sitting there. So I'm not sure how much you really want to take this seriously.
He was the prankster. He was the father of this great prank. And so I doubt whether he would have admitted exactly that it was a hoax. But certainly there have been a number of stories that have uncovered it.
Wait, so we're supposed to... So they're just saying this whole thing is a prank? Then why... What about Desiree French? What about all the sightings? What about all that?
Pinatas, man.
There were pinatas planted everywhere in Wisconsin. That's normal for the North.
Right? Yeah. They're used to... Or maybe they're just not as... I think that this girl just legitimately believed this pinata was real. Like, she got spooked by a pinata.
Now, what if it's some sort of tulpa? I know. Okay, listen. I know it's a little out there, and it's we don't really talk about tulpas on the show. We haven't, at least, much. But
Bigfoot might be a kind of tulpa.
Bigfoot might be a kind of tulpa. Something I learned from Joshua P. Warren. And why would Hodag not be some sort of tulpa? Especially if this little girl, this young girl, could possibly manifest a Hodag and see it. Because she knows the stories.
Maybe if they're just fixated on it and they want to see it badly enough, like a lot of people who claim they've seen Bigfoot, they could have like the image in their head. They see all the stuff around them in the town and everything.
Well, it could be a psychological thing. Could be a psychological explanation like that, but it could also be something supernatural and paranormal.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
she's actually manifesting this thing with.
Yeah, like she sees the image and wants it so bad that she tulpifies it.
What a waste of a tulpa to make a stinky little bull monster.
I don't know, man. It sounds like it's pretty scary. It'll protect your freaking backyard forest for you. It'll protect it from you.
That other guy
protect it like they're blueberries for their family.
There you go.
Don't even speak about those blueberries. Those are a secret, okay?
Finding them things for busting it up. So if this is all just a prank, then let's find out why it has persisted for so long. Granted, it's not a tulpa.
Gene Shepard was a prankster, a jokester, and he liked to brag, but he also liked to promote the area he was in.
Forestry has been the main source of income for the area. Perhaps lumberman Gene Shepard invents his story to revitalize local industries as the forests are being overharvested. Or perhaps Shepard sees the Hodag as an opportunity to line his own pockets with a lucrative sideshow at the county fair. Whatever his motives, today he is hailed as a crafty visionary who replaced a failing economy with a tourist boom.
Yeah, great prank, but not really, though, because who the hell even cares about the Hodag? They need better marketing for this thing. We all know who Mothman and Bigfoot and everything else is. Outside of the area, no one knows what the Hodag is.
I mean, that's true. I'd never heard about this ever before this, and honestly, I'm sorry if any of our listeners are from this town, but like, oh man, I would just feel so bummed out if that was.
If anybody is from here, we need to hear from you. Oh my God.
Yeah, why haven't you spoken up about this thing before? If that's the case, shame on you.
Yeah, please give us a call and leave us a voicemail and tell us about any Hodag experiences.
Do you have a photo with
the
giant Hodag?
There is a giant Hodag.
Can you make one?
This town is Hodag crazy. And let's just get it out of the way, because they eventually tell us that it turns out that Gene just made this all up. He made a weird taxidermed Hodag. He made money showing it at fairs. But then the Smithsonian came to inspect it, and he finally just said, it's just a prank, bro. And that kind of ended it. And I don't like this. And why is the family...
As soon as the Smithsonian guys came around, that's what he heard. He was like, oh,
that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. And the family still lies about it to this day, and they got secret blueberry fields, and it hides in. We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Wow, whole fields. Goddamn.
I don't know. But here is a Rhinelander local with a positive spin on what Gene, the prank superstar, started.
I don't think he probably ever intended to, and I think he probably thought this is going to be hilarious when my friends hear this story about what I've just discovered. But he definitely has helped put Rhinelander on the map and has made a name for our community.
Yeah, it's called Bullshit Town.
That music in the background, though, it just keeps you distracted enough to just totally believe her.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned. To say that this Rhinelander place is Hodag obsessed, this is an understatement. And Aaron mentioned it. You saw the video, Aaron. They've got a gigantic Hodag statue in front of, what is that, their Chamber of Commerce? I want to take a picture of that. What did you think of it?
It's the biggest statue of a cryptid I've ever seen. It puts the Mothman statue to shame.
Yeah. It's like the Bull of Wall Street statue. It's freaking humongous.
It's massive. It is it looks super cool. And there are Hodag statues all over. Every park is Hodag. This town is full on Hodag fever. If you thought Point Pleasant repped the Mothman like no town ever repped a cryptid, I'm going to stop you right there. Because he's not only these giant things, he's on signs. He's on these huge statues. He's on their water tower. He's the high school mascot. And he's even on the police cars. Did you guys notice that?
God.
Yeah,
of course I noticed that. That was one of the first things I noticed. It looks like a video game.
And the police patches. I was looking at the cop. The cop's patches have a Hodag on it.
At that point, I was like, y'all might have taken it a little bit too far, because with the West Virginia Point Pleasant, sorry, goddamn, it's like that makes sense. They had a movie made of it, and it put them on the map that way. I still have never heard of this shit before today.
Well,
and then
they
you have
love
a
their
whole
Hodag
police fucking patch. Like,
I want to get arrested there, Aaron. How great would it be? We'll go there. We'll get arrested and take pictures of us in the Hodag squad car. Oh my god.
That sounds like a dream come true. Because they also have the Hodag Music Festival every year.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk about that. That is a huge music festival. Aaron, do you know anything about it?
I've literally never heard of it before. So just going right along with having never heard anything Hodag, this like I'm really plugged into like the world of like greater music, and they're like, it's one of the biggest music festivals in the state. And I'm like, I have a whole list of all of these things, and I've never once heard of this.
Okay, so not only like maybe not tear them down about it, but just be like, hey, if you want that to actually be true, book.
It looks pretty big in the area.
Yeah.
When I was looking for songs for this episode, I ran into quite a few songs just about being at the Hodag Festival.
What?
And from what I've gathered, there's a lot of cleavage.
What?
All right.
That's some big old Hodag.
There's a song called Cleavage about the Hodag Festival.
What
There's a song called Cleavage.
Of course.
It was at this point of the documentary where they start showing this logging museum, and there is no Hodag to be seen. This thing turned into look like a long tourist ad, minus the actual addiction of the cryptid. Did you guys notice watching this?
Yeah.
Within the first 10 seconds, it felt like it was a commercial for it, which I didn't mind. I was like, cool, guess what? I'm sold.
As soon as they started interviewing the Chamber of Commerce, I was like, oh.
Oh,
okay.
Aaron, did you hear how rehearsed a lot of those things that they said were? Like,
God. Like, can we do another take? I didn't quite get that one right.
Yeah, that one word that I thought that I wasn't supposed to say, I decided to say it. It just had such a weird...
I kind of hope nobody ever debunks this thing, because you're literally taking everything away from these people.
Oh yeah, don't
everything
do
that they have. This is the one thing that they love. Like
they know it.
This cannot. Please do not debunk this thing. Give
Honestly,
them
Rob,
just this, please.
Let the town
Rob, you
believe
did them the best favor that's ever been done by saying that possibly it's a tulpa that we're seeing now, because that can continue the thing. They admit that they know it's fake, and that's the best thing I've ever heard to say. Because I actually do want to. I don't know. I don't think they would get a young teenage girl on there to lie about a Hodag.
No.
So I have to believe some of this. They get back to the Hodag, though. The ad kind of ends. And we learned that boat captain man, Sailor Jerry, the guy whose phone he got ate by his cat. This guy turns out he is a man of many talents.
Gene Shepherd's hoax has evolved into one of the local county fair's star attractions. It's at events like this that Gene Shepherd first displayed his fearsome beast to anyone willing to pay a dime for a peep. Jerry Scheidel has revived this tradition with his own slapstick reenactment for an appreciative audience outside the Rhinelander Museum.
If we were to look at a Hodag's heart, it would be black. That's how evil and sinister this creature is.
You know, people loved the show. They were flocking. In fact, I think for their final performance of it, they had a couple hundred people that they didn't even fit into the tent where they were performing it. They had to open the flaps.
Yeah, so this guy Sailor Jerry, he reenacts the same shtick that Gene Shepherd did. He even has his shirt off in one part of it. He completely commits to doing this Carnival Barker Hodag bit, and I'm starting to think he might be lying about that Hodag picture now. He just wants he just wants to be like his prankster hero. He has a fake picture that never exists. There's another fake thing. Before we go, though, man, we've gotten this far. You got to play Soundboard 1 because we love anything involving flaps. But this one's a little sexy.
They had to open the flaps.
Yeah, it was so... The show was so exciting.
Out of all of that whole clip, that's the one that you chose. That's the part
They
you
had
chose
to
to
open
focus
the
in.
flaps.
They had to. This guy's Hodag show is so amazing. The town is flocking to him, and it turns out they
had to open the flaps.
It was very cool.
For like 10 cents a peep. Like, wow, cheap.
And didn't you say he made like $500 at 10 cents a piece or something?
Yeah, I think that was the old price of the early 1900s. So this guy's got dollar signs in his eyes doing this. He thinks he lives in old-timey times. He doesn't.
All the kids' reactions while he's doing this are so priceless because they're all just like, Mom,
why is this?
Why are we here? What is this?
What are they kind of laugh, and then they're mostly confused.
The little girl
Yeah, they
afterwards, she's like, "That was weird."
That
like,
was the weirdest thing. And then her mom like looks back at her and she's like, "Yeah, that was pretty weird what we just saw."
Yeah, they could have
It
actually
was,
kept the flap
so
closed.
awkward.
We were trying to watch the festival.
I want my 10 cents back.
It gets sexier than flaps though, because they have a carnival barker out there, and he's selling Hodag related merch for adults.
During the reenactment, we have the carnival barker who's out there trying to sell a particular product. In this case, Hodag Magic Elixir Water.
Madam, 1 bottle of Hodag Magic Elixir Water for your husband, and you'll have a new boost in the boudoir.
I'll take one of those.
Okay. I'm actually very interested in that. Is this part real? Is the Hodag water for adults? That sounds kind of cool.
I don't know. I'll take 10 of those. Like,
I got the biggest laugh of the entire episode. I'll take one of those.
Well, actually, I wanted to say play Soundboard 2 because I think my wife was at the event. She's the one who said,
I'll take one of those.
Yeah, there she was.
Well, see, you should feel good that she only needs one.
Well, I'll take one of those.
Look, when you're in Wisconsin, you go for it for the night. You got to go on a log Hodag hunt. What are we going to do? I need that elixir.
I'll take
You
one
gotta
of
have
those.
that magic elixir.
I wouldn't drink that shit. Who knows what's in that?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Is it for women to drink or men to drink? Or
I don't know. I think he's
It's
cool with
probably full of
whatever. I
chloroform.
think he's cool with whatever you want to do. Whatever's going on, he's down.
Yeah, I just don't.
man.
Yeah, I don't trust it. There's probably roofies in it.
There's definitely
Yeah.
roofies in it.
I can't wait.
Have you seen this guy's track record? What
That's why they're so
hero?
expensive.
His hero is Mr. Chloroform on a stick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
true.
cool. He's
They should have
refined
just
the art.
called it that.
He didn't learn to actually about inflation, though. He's still charging that dime, that 10 cents or that nickel. He's never going to get it. But following this long explanation of how the Hodag and everyone involved with it are just perpetrating this just old-timey prank for tourist dollars, they then cut to a man named Chris Dries, an expert Hodag hunter who will take you in the woods at any time for free and will hunt the Hodag with you. I thought this guy was awesome. And here he is with some expert tips for the would-be Hodag hunter.
He may be right behind you, and you would know. His scent is much stronger than any dog. It's reported. So when you look for the Hodag, you have to wash your hands very carefully, very, very carefully, and you have to take a breath mint because they will smell your breath of a human well over a mile away. So that's probably one of the reasons no one actually has seen the Hodag.
All right, I like this guy, so I'm going to apologize. He seems like a very nice older man, but does that make any sense to you? If you're trying to mask your breath, would you eat a mint, Aaron?
That would make it more easy to find. It's like, oh, I'm trying to disguise myself. Here's a bright orange vest.
Smell it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, though, to be fair, like if it were possible for mint to mask human odors, then okay, like they'd be like, okay, well, that smells like mint. Well, at least it's not a human. But no, it's just from your breath. That's so stupid. You have to like wash yourself.
The Hodag's not going to look at it and be
body.
like, oh yeah, that's definitely a mint plant, not a human.
No, he must have
wow.
washed his hands. Yeah.
Mint is really violent.
He's the Steve Feltham of the Hodag, pretty much.
I
He's
like
been hunting
this
this
guy.
thing his whole life.
But
He's
never going onto the
passionate.
lake.
Yeah, I mean, he's prepared, though. He knows what he's doing.
He's
Play
trying.
Soundboard 3, though, because he came in hot on that clip. Listen.
He may be right behind you.
Yeah, he may be right behind you. Okay, thank you.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that lilt.
Now we know if we want to go Hodag hunting, we have to come equipped with a bamboo stick, sponge, chloroform, and orbit gum.
No, you just need this guy. And the cool thing is, they tell you, he'll take you out anytime. You can call him. He does it for free. He wants people to just go walking around the woods and wash their hands and eat gum with him. I'm so down.
He just wants someone to hang out with, man. He just wants someone to hang out with him.
And he loves chewing gum. Just like, I just need somebody to come and hang out in the woods and chew gum with me.
Just go for a walk with me, man. Let's just go look for some Hodags. Come on.
Hey, man, you want to chew some gum? Let's go.
He's my favorite guy in the entire Hodag verse. He's never seen the Hodag, though, even though he's an expert hunter. He just likes to walk around and look for him. It's very heartwarming. So please let me warm my icy heart one last time as Hodag hunter Chris walks around the woods some more.
This is very good Hodag country. And we're also going to a swamp area, which most people don't like swamps. So the creatures that live in the swamps are somewhat protected from people who are looking for them. You have to look in unusual places for the Hodag. This was made, and the stick is broken as you can see, this was made by something. Whether it was a Hodag or dug by a bear, but it was dug for a reason. This is very important because they may have been here looking for roots.
I could watch this guy walk around and talk about what the Hodag may or may not be doing.
Full disclosure, I watched this 3 times because I got such a good laugh out of it.
It's so wholesome, especially with the background music. And like you said, Russ, it's like he seems super chill and laid back. And it just reminds me of like a Wisconsin version of Field House, or I don't know if you guys know about.
Could you imagine just walking around and you see a stick and you're like, what do you think this is? And he's like, oh, this might be a Hodag. Could be a bear.
He reminds me a little bit of.
I don't know.
He reminds me a little bit of Miss Pulley. You guys remember Miss Pulley?
Yeah,
she
that
was
whole like.
You know, they like to be kind of like a secret.
It could be right behind you.
I don't know. That's the blueberry people.
That
That's the people hiding stuff. Miss Pulley knows more than she's saying.
She's not a blueberry person. How dare you?
I don't know. Enough with that. It's time to get back to what the Hodag is really all about. That sweet, sweet t-shirt money.
I would say that there absolutely is a tie economically between the Hodag and tourism.
The Hodag you can find on keychains, bumper stickers.
I got a little snow globe with the Hodag on it.
Snow globe.
We have sweatshirts, we have t-shirts, we have, of course, we're in Wisconsin, so we have beer mugs, we have children's stories, so we have a whole line of merchandise called Happy the Hodag. Happy's the more children-friendly version of the Hodag. Window clings, bumper stickers, postcards, you name it. If we can put a Hodag on it, we will try.
Yeah, I need some Hodag merch right now. They showed so much cool stuff.
It's like a Portlandia skit. It's literally like that Portlandia skit. Like, put a bird on it. It sounds exactly like
Happy
that.
the Hodag for children. They have everything in this town. And this is more merch than you can find at Mothman. This is insane.
I thought that Wisconsin was known for cheese. And so when you said, being from Wisconsin, of course, we have a cheese Hodag, which is like, it's beer.
I was hoping she was going to say that. I was hoping she was going to say there's Hodag cheese because I want to try it so bad.
I would so go there if there was a cheese named Hodag.
Well, you see, that's the perception. The cheese. What is really going on is the beer. The cheese is the byproduct of their alcoholism.
When I think of Wisconsin, when I think of beer, I'm like, oh, Wisconsin.
No, there's got to be Hodag beer. Because I mean,
that's what she said. There was beer mugs, beers, everything.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, because everybody's got to get some Hodag beer. But the cheese, I feel like someone smart is making that Hodag cheese. There's got to be some out there.
You got to find it.
Look, as podcasters, we know what the real cheese is. Because in this clip, they really hammer home this town's obsession with T-shirt money.
The Hodag gives us more pep. I mean, makes the city cooler. I don't know. Trying to explain this.
It brings recognition to the town of Rhinelander.
Plus, then we can make T-shirts about it and sell it.
All right, settle down. They love that T-shirt, and people gave Brian crap. Play Soundboard 4, because this is what really Hodag is all about.
Plus, then we can make T-shirts about it and sell it.
Yeah, we could sell it. We can make some money off these suckers.
So glad you got that sound clip. That's what I thought of. First of all, I was like, she needs to lay off the sugar. Something seems like that girl was off, but she reminded me of have you ever seen a Chewbacca? Just like that energy, like
that same energy. She is bringing Chewbacca level energy to that. To that.
And There's a young teen girl in the town talking about, yeah, we can make T-shirts. And...
Have you ever seen a Chewbacca?
Yeah,
it's definitely a similar energy. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And that's really it for this documentary. They talk about how once the high school adopted Hodag as its mascot, he started becoming more kid-friendly. We had Happy the Hodag. No more talk of poor Shorty Matusik. And the Hodag even changed from black to green to match the football jerseys of the high school. So they really neutered their own scary monster into, yes, this cuddly, family-friendly, T-shirt money generating cryptid. As a whole, I don't know what to think of Hodag. Are you a believer at all in the Hodag, Aaron?
Hard pass. Hard pass on this one. I do believe in paper mache and piñatas, but not in the Hodag. Hodag.
All right. What about you, Drea?
I'll say soft pass because overall, this whole thing, I was like, this is super cringy. Like, these people are nerds. They're such dweebs about this. But at the same time, because they have the statue and they have it everywhere, kind of like they do with the Mothman in Point Pleasant, which I have yet to visit, it's one of those things where, like, you know what? Yeah, if I were near enough the area, fuck it. I'm sold. I'll go take pictures with it.
I know me and Rob are both Hodag, Brodag. We're down. Actually,
yeah.
no. I don't think we are. And I'm not convinced either, but I did find someone outside of this documentary who does believe. A man that had this terrifying account of a run-in with the Hodag.
I was mushroom hunting on a trail, a logging trail up in northern Oneida County. And I got to a turn in the trail, and as I made the turn, I saw this green thing there. He was green, and he was whistling, and he was clapping. And he was kind of on three legs giving me one of these, pointing to something that was around the corner in the ditch. And when I got there, sure enough, there was another one. And when I looked back at him, he took off down the trail. And in the ditch, I heard grunting. It sounded like somebody who eat potatoes trying to get into an old pair of Levi's.
All right, are you guys following us so far?
No, where did this go?
Okay. This guy found a Hodag. It's whistling and clapping, and then he looks down. There's another one. Wait, what did he say at the end there? It looked like what?
Who eat potatoes trying to get into an old pair of Levi's.
Someone who eats potatoes
sound, right?
trying to get an old pair of Levi's? Is that a saying? I've never heard also.
I think it's a Hodag thing. It's a sound they make. Yeah, it sounds like, play it again.
Who eat potatoes trying to get into an old pair of Levi's.
All right.
Like, first of all, as a visual, yeah, I can imagine that, but it's such a specific visual. You know, somebody who would eat potatoes, right? Trying to squeeze.
This guy's a wordsmith.
Oh, sure, but that's the sound that it made. Like, okay,
it's a great sound. It's a great sound, but well, let's get back. Let's get back in and let's see if the story starts making more sense.
What it was another Hodag that I thought was giving birth, but its head was leaning back, trying to get its horns near its tail. And as I got closer, I realized he or she must have sat down in a ant's nest, and it was all over the tail end of this Hodag. And I kind of felt sorry for it, and I got real close, and there was nothing I could do. I had already wet my pants, and.
What's up with that? Wait, what's going on? What? So this Hodag that's on the ground.
I did.
All right. Well, play soundboard 6. You know we had to do it. Let's hear it.
Really, there was nothing I could do. I had already wet my pants.
So he wants to help. He finds a poor Hodag, or a scary Hodag, sitting in an ant pile with ants all over it. And I don't know what him having wet his pants has to do with helping the Hodag, if that was his intention.
Has nothing to do with it. Like, he's very selfish if he didn't think like, I'd help, but I'm in a very socially embarrassing situation here with my wet pants.
I peed my pants, man. I'm not going to tell anyone.
I'm not going to tell anyone. Like, just help the thing out. We won't tell. You just told everybody that you wet your pants.
I mean, this is already my favorite Hodag story. Do we need to even listen to any more of this?
If there is more, then absolutely, yes,
Of course we do! Let's hear the rest.
First thing I saw was this huge green tail, and I thought it was a snake because I was used to snakes. I learned how to sleep standing up on a dresser when our boa constrictor got loose in the house. And I figure best I could do was maybe take the bottle of mosquito lotion in my pocket and take the cork out and splash that on the tail end of this hodag in the ditch, and maybe that'll get rid of the ants. Big mistake. I tossed the mosquito lotion, the ants kind of scattered. This thing popped up, screeched, and all the seed cones fell out of the trees, and that's why you wonder why we got so much evergreen trees up here.
So that's why they have so many trees. That's why there's so many trees. The hodag can scream and seeds will pop out everywhere.
Who would have
That
thought?
sounds like something an animal does.
It's like Bulbasaur. This thing is Bulbasaur.
It is.
So yeah, it's a pollinator. Hodag's a pollinator. It just helps scatter the seeds by screaming at trees.
And
Great.
Rob, what'd you think about this guy? He learned to sleep standing up because a boa constrictor got loose in his house. What is this guy talking about?
He learned to sleep standing up on a dresser. Another phrase. Are these Wisconsin phrases that you only know if you're from Wisconsin, or are these people making all these things up?
No, this guy in particular is just a fucking maverick.
I think outside of Wisconsin, this would be considered like a non sequitur, but this is like some kind of Wisconsin dog whistle code. It means something to sleep standing up when you're boa. I don't know what he's talking about.
Like he's on a gravitron, like that, like he's laying down on his dresser sleeping. Like, how does that work exactly? I don't understand.
All your muscles get paralyzed when you're asleep, so he just stands like rigid, and then until he wakes up, then he falls off.
And it can still get your leg and crawl up your leg. It's a boa constrictor.
Totally
you can't go to sleep if there's a boa constrictor loose in your house. You just don't sleep, right? There's no sleeping.
This won't be a problem later.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm safe here.
It'll be fine.
This is this guy's magic. He has us talking about his non sequiturs. I'm not talking about the fact that there was a hodag with ants all over it, and he puts mosquito lotion on it, and it screams, and all the seeds pop out. And that's
been ant lotion.
This is some kind of Paul Bunyan level bullshit kind of story. Like, and that's why all the trees are out here, because the hodag could scream. This guy is very old if you haven't told. Yeah.
He blasted the whole forest with seeds from his scream. It makes perfect sense when you really think about it.
Yeah, circle of life, chloroform, bamboo sticks, mosquito lotion,
seeds.
Boa constrictors. Let's hear now the thrilling conclusion of this guy's hodag experience.
Anyhow, I thought it was coming after me, but it was just kind of looking for help, and I kept dodging behind trees. When I finally got to a point where I was exhausted and it was exhausted, it backed up to a huge pine tree and started scratching from the back end to the forward. I went to my car, waited for a bit. When everything seemed to stop, I walked back to get my mushrooms, which were in the bag. I looked, and that tree was leaning about 30 degrees, and all that was left at the base of the tree was a head and the horns of that hodag. And I took it back home, and I have it mounted over a fireplace in my one of my cabins. Last time I told that story was to a door-to-door insurance salesman. He didn't believe me either, so I'm going for 50-50 here.
Yeah, we should have just stopped after he wet his pants. So this guy, I don't know, somehow a tree crushed. Somehow all that's left is the hodag's skull and its horns. A tree falls or something, and it's in one of his many cabins, because he's bragging about having many cabins.
That is pretty cool, actually, though. If he's got a hodog head above his fireplace,
any kind of head above
or
his
a hodag,
fireplace.
whatever it is, a hodag, one of those guys, if it's above his fireplace, that's kind of a cool centerpiece, you know?
Yeah, it looks like something you see in Jabba's palace. That is kind of cool. I would want that.
And why hasn't he taken a picture of that? How come there's no photograph of what that looks
this
like?
is an old-timey guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, he knows cabins and mosquito stuff, and his boa constrictor probably
Lord knows
ate
his cat.
phone.
He's gonna have a cat that's gonna knock it off of a table and destroy it beyond belief.
Exactly. Totally shredded. You can't get the photos off of that skull anymore.
Listen, the reason why he can't take a picture is because he's only got
a shitty phone camera.
A shitty phone camera. And you wouldn't be able to see it anyway because it would be all pixelated, you know?
There weren't Polaroids back then. It's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's like eating potatoes in old Levi's or something. But that last
this is
video,
my favorite guy.
Yeah, I wish I knew his name. He doesn't have a name. That last video was posted by an account called Rhinelander Hodag. It's all one word, which on YouTube. And I think this is some kind of official account, like tourist account for Rhinelander. They also had a bunch of these short, like comical Hodag commercials. So let's hear one of those now. This is one called Hodag Sighting Karaoke Commercial.
In the Rhinelander area, you'll find the perfect blend of pristine wilderness and big city amenities, and you might even find a hodag.
We were at a resort in Rhinelander singing karaoke. I do my usual feelings when I noticed him standing on the bar clapping. I sort of blinked, he was gone. But he really liked my song. I think it was a Hodag.
The Rhinelander area is Hodag country. For more Hodag sightings, visit hodagsightings.com.
Because I would play some more of these, and they're all pretty much just like that. There are these 30-second things where if we would do one, let's say I would be like, me and Rob, we're in the champagne room, and Rob's getting a lap dance, and I look back,
As he does.
and I see horns rustling through his, I think I saw Hodag. And you can add the music in there, and that's pretty much what... I feel like we should watch some of those. There's a ton of them. We could watch them on a stream on Friday night. So our Twitch stream on Friday, we'll watch all Hodag content that I've curated so
He was
far.
clapping, too. That's part of what he does, too. We've heard in other stories, he's a whistler, he's a clapper. So if he's clapping at the bar, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, why not? That's what I do. I get excited.
I just
they don't
imagine
go
him,
together at all.
I imagine him just perched up on the bar stool, like on all fours.
Just so excited.
Just so excited. Just clapping.
The commercials they have for this, they have like a water skiing one. There's a barbershop quartet Hodag commercial. There's a bunch of. We'll watch
I
them
don't
on
want to
Friday.
see that one, but I'm sure we're going.
I got to
to
see
on
them all.
Friday.
They're great. And
Fantastic.
I just have one more thing before we wrap up all things Hodag. Because there was an episode of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated called Scooby Gang versus the Hodag of Horror, where the Hodag is featured prominently. Here's a short clip of that.
Like Meet the Hodag, #1 attraction of Gene Shepard's traveling cabinet of curiosities.
That can't be the thing that attacked Daisy. It's so fake.
The Hodag is a master of deception, lulling its victims into a false sense of security before attacking.
Yeah, right.
What's in the high security box, Mr. Shepard?
Something very, very valuable. I only open that box once a year.
Like why?
It needs to breathe! You dimwit. Mwah.
Can you say suspicious?
Suspicious.
Huh?
Yeah, Shaggy sounds weird there. I think this is after Casey Kasem.
Everybody sounds a little bit weird there. I think that they were all on that mushroom hunting trip beforehand.
Just in that short clip, they like, Hodag is so fake. Like, you don't know because he lulls you into thinking he's fake, and then he rips you in half like Shorty McGlurkin.
The greatest trick the devil ever played, or whatever,
was to think he was a piñata. Exactly.
False sense of piñatas. Yes.
Exactly. So, do you guys have any final thoughts on all things Hodag? I'm going to ask you first, Aaron. What do you think?
I think that next time it's safe to go out and do shit in the world. Instead of going to in addition to going to the Mothman Festival, we have to go up to Hodag and go to the Hodag Music Festival.
Hell yeah.
We can be your roadies or your road crew.
Let's
we'll come in
do
there like
it.
the Scooby. We'll go in like the Scooby Gang. We'll get to the bottom. Well, that guy will take us anywhere for free. And I'll just get lost with him. If you need
we'll
to
hit
find
him up,
me,
see if we can go on a hunt together. But we got to make sure that he provides the gum.
We got to get Aaron booked at the next Hodag Festival, man.
Agreed. Let's make it happen.
Right? Let's get it.
That would be
going on,
fucking
guys.
great. We'll all go up there and we'll party, and then we'll go Hodag hunting.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well, any thoughts from you, Drea?
I mean, just like I said before, like I now kind of want to go there to get my picture taken with the thing, just because, like, yeah, it does have that kind of that, I don't know, like a bond with the town, like that same kind of thing that's going on with Point Pleasant, like. But I'm not going to go out of my way unless Aaron's playing the music festival for
Let's
the
do
Hodag.
it. We'll get Best Death to come play also.
Yeah.
The kitsch factor is off the chart with Hodag. The stuff they have is amazing. What about you, Rob? You got any final thoughts on the Hodag, Hodog, whatever you're calling it?
Just like I said before, at this point, the Hodag is a deity for these people, and no, please don't ever try to take this Hodag away from him. He may not be the coolest looking cryptid. It may just look like a Cheshire cat with horns, but
and spikes.
And spikes. Don't forget about the spikes. But this thing means a lot to these people, and it's done a lot for this this area. And they talk about him like he's Batman, like he literally has been pulling them out of the darkness.
He's their hero.
Yeah, I gotta give Hodag props for that. So
Hodag could be a kind of tulpa.
Yeah, and he could be a kind of tulpa, like I said.
Could be.
So
He really could
who knows, man.
All right. Well, great stuff. And before we go, do you guys remember that Hodag song that we started with?
No.
Well, forget it. Forget it.
Oh, good. I have.
Because you know that new sound that you've been looking for, Aaron? Well, listen to this.
Way up north in the White Pine Woods where the swamps are all around, there's a creature that lives way back in the hills and its lair cannot be found. It moves through the trees like a whispering death, there ain't no place to hide. When the full moon sails over Rhinelander, the town folks stay inside. Hodag always hungry, Hodag gobble it down. Hodag getting bigger, yeah, Hodag getting round. Hodag get behind you and it never make a sound. Hodag hibernate in a wintertime place all around.
Yeah, Meat Raffle Road with their Hodag song.
I'm sorry, what?
That was Meat Raffle Road. I dig that one.
Cool.
That is the best thing to come
Cool
out of the
name,
Hodag.
man.
That song is
That song
just,
right there.
Oh my
That'll
god.
be my
Up
next
there.
Lizard Man Stomp covers right
Yeah.
there. The Hodag
Dude.
Stomp.
My favorite part's like when it gets all quiet, like you come right behind you, won't make a sound. Oh, just kidding, Hodag's here. Like that was
Hodag's
scary.
here. And
That
I
got
bet
me
you
off
they played that
guard.
Hodag Fest, man. There's a lot of Hodag music out there. We didn't know anything about this thing. He's been on Scooby Doo. He's got tons of songs. He's long remembered as a great monster. Oh
It's
man,
got statues, man.
I'll write a new Hodag song just for the podcast. How's
Great
that?
idea.
The Hodag
Great
Hoedown.
idea.
Hodag Stomp. He hasn't stomped on anything yet. He might need to
Should not
stomp.
stomp the
Yeah,
Hodag.
dude, tell the whole story. Tell the whole story of the Hodog, man. The Hodag.
It's a Hodag.
The Hodag.
God damn
We've
it.
done this the
Hodog
whole
sounds
episode.
like something
We've done
you
this
get at a
the
bodega.
whole
I literally
entire
just said
episode.
it wrong the first time 20 seconds ago because of you.
Oh man, yeah. Someone from Wisconsin's going to be offended by this, but we're sorry. Okay,
We're sorry, Rhinelander.
We're trying as best we can right now.
Look, Wisconsin, we did a whole episode on Hodag. We're into it, even though you guys admit it's fake. I'm trying to figure out why people are seeing it and why there's so many cool songs about it. Oh, great stuff. So let's move on now, because I've got some business to take care of. So let's go now to the Unbelievers voice mailbag.
The Unbelievers mailbag.
Ooh, right in the mailbag.
Hey man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Mailbag. The mailbag is cool. Mailbag.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time.
Yeah, it is cool. We're gonna finish off the soundboard contest from the last couple of months, but before that, we've got a couple of new ones to play. Rob, let's hear what we got in the voicemail bag.
Hey guys, this is the Wombat Preservationist.
And the Mrs. Wombat Preservationist.
And we just watched Beetlejuice for the millionth
Oh,
time.
He sounds
Best movie
tagged.
ever.
He sounds
So
so
good.
tagged.
And it falls right in line with the, the everything the Unbelievers podcast is about. Ghosts and shit. Fantastic movie. You got everything you could ask for. Some poltergeist, some crazy shit. And
Michael Keaton.
to be honest,
snakes.
growing up in a haunted house, it helped me live with that.
God. Here we go. Listen,
As it
Beetlejuice is a great movie. Oh my god, I have the hiccups. Beetlejuice is a great
All right,
movie.
come on, Miss
And
Wombat.
Juno is the best caseworker ever. And
I like for Juno.
oh my god.
Shout out to the
So-
smokers out there for Juno.
If you haven't figured it out, we played drinking games to all the movies that we watched.
We kind of figured that out.
Never would have
reviews
guessed.
for, which is why we didn't do one for Phoenix Taste, because it didn't have a drinking game.
Oh, it did. You
But
should have watched it with us.
this one really fucked up my wife.
But not me.
So I just want to say I wouldn't give it very many rods. I mean, Gina Davis is a fox. So
Come on,
I
what
would
note is in
give
this?
It, I mean, like 2 just based on that, but no,
She's a
nothing
minor in
real
the movie.
sexy. But
No,
like,
she's not.
probably, I guess, absolutely 5, maybe 10.
Like, come on.
What would we give it?
10
Zag
glasses
nuts.
of orange juice. Yes.
There
Great
you go.
movie. Love the movie. Everyone should watch it. Beetlejuice. 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 Beetlejuice.
No. Edit that last one out, Rob. Edit that last one
That's
out.
fine. It's only happening where they're at, not us. Like, our studio is too huge.
I don't think we can be broadcasting those kind of things over podcast waves. People playing in
it's
their
fine.
house. It's not safe. He'll beep it out.
We'll find
Thank
out.
you so much. Yeah, we always love the Mr. and Mrs. Wombat Preservationist movie reviews. Thank you guys so much. But that's not the only review we've got. Let's hear the next one.
Now, again, hold up. Now, it's my wife's birthday, so happy birthday to the
Happy
Miss
birthday, Miss
Wombat
Wombat
Preservation.
Preservations.
I wanna say that.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Rock.
Happy
but-
birthday.
Phoenix Tapes.
Yeah.
That shit was dope. I do want to give a quick review on that, although we didn't play a game for it, as I mentioned with the Beetlejuice.
I don't think these
But,
guys need a game to get down.
Considering the amount of, everything that went into that, I do want to give a hats off to it. Good ass movie.
I think he's talking about
the
Phoenix
phenotypes
Incident.
Probably.
That's what they're called, phenotypes or phenomorphs. Phenomorphs.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
he's talking about
definitely
Phoenix
talking about
Incident.
Incident.
Good design.
I heard her
all
make
that
up for the
viral
background.
marketing and shit. That was really cool. And PCB, that guy, was awesome for doing
Yeah,
that.
Keith rules, man.
For getting on the podcast and doing all that stuff. That was amazing. So, all in all, 5 phenotypes.
Phenomorphs, I like that.
Good ass shit, man. Good movie.
All right, very cool, very cool.
Can I give props?
All right, happy birthday,
Was
props.
that the end of it? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I thought there was going to be a 2U.
Usually, I mean, I think it would just, in the future, Wombat Preservationists, we love your reviews, but if we could just say, like, at the end, bye,
This is the
or
end.
something to let us know that we're done.
Deuces. Yeah, we got it. We
Deuces.
want to say happy birthday. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe prompting us to sing, which we're not. But
No.
thank you so much. And Wombat, you're always, of course, the voicemail superstar. We love all the reviews. Keep them coming. But we have some business because I put out a soundboard challenge and said, if you can, I want to hear people imitating the soundboard, and I'm going to pick 3 at the end. I've got some kind of unique items I'll send you. Nothing super awesome, but, unique things that you can have. Great old, unbelievable podcast stuff. So I picked 2 winners, and I was tossed up. So let's hear the first winner of the first ever soundboard voicemail competition. Let's hear the first winner.
Hey guys, this is Unbeliever Carol. I thought I'd call in to share folklore with you guys. I hope that you guys can keep it like a secret. Okay, so here's my folklore. So one day I was walking in the woods and I noticed these Yankee boys out in the distance. And they were looking at something on the ground, and one of the guys noticed that I was walking up, and he was like, hey, come here, check this out. I'm like, oh shit. So I guess I have to go over there. So I walk up, and they were looking at this huge hole in the ground, and I was like, what the fuck is that? One of the guys goes, we don't know. The other guy goes, I dare you to stick your feet in there. I'm like, well, what am I going to do without no feet? And the other guy, he looked really stupid, but he was like, it's the government. Anyways, that was kind of stupid, but I started slowly backing away because I was scared. Then my phone started ringing, and this is how I answered it.
Oh, no.
Hello? And my friend on the other line, she was frantic. And she's like, oh my gosh, Carol, you gotta come over. I saw an alien or shit or something. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Okay, Diane, it's fine. We're coming over. So I started walking over to her house, and it was a pretty long walk because, I was in the woods. So I walk up to her house, and I noticed something really strange, and it really bothered me. Her mailbox. Her mailbox was so full. There was so much shit sticking out of the mailbox. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, I go in her house and she's like, oh my god, I shit my pants. I'm like, Dan, what the fuck did it look like? And she's like, it was half alien, half ugly motherfucker. And she was crying. And I'm like, okay, Dan, look, you need to calm down. It's okay. I'm the weatherman, but right now I need you to do something really important. And she's like, okay. I'm like, hey man, check your mailbox.
Whoa.
Damn.
Oh my God.
The way she brought it full circle to her own mailbox clip, her own mailbag clip.
So there's three winners, and Carol was definitely the top runner in that. So yes, Carol, you have definitely one of the winners. Let's hear the second one. There were so many in there, and you will get on the soundboard, but you left so many that we need to decide which clip we'll actually use. Because you did so many sound clips in there. We will pick one, and we will randomly start using it in shows, and you will hear. So let's hear the next one. Next winner.
Hey guys, Nunchuck Bop here. I just called to say I love you guys, and God bless you, Dr. Peoples. Okay, keep chucking. Bye.
There you go. So he came in. That was a great Dr. Peoples. We've got so many Dr. Peoples already, and you'll go in there, and no one will know the difference. So thank you so much. And look, it was hard to choose a third one. There were so many. I want to thank everyone who submitted one. They were all really funny. I brought it down to two. I couldn't decide, so I'm going to let you guys decide. So we got two contenders left for the last spot, and I'm going to let you guys pick. Play the first one.
Hola, mija.
Hola.
The weather report says it's going to snow tomorrow. Yay! Do you eat roadkill? Yeah, anyway. You do? Wow.
Wow.
So far, this makes sense. Do you know a man died in prison for discussing this? What was that? I don't know. Let's get out of here. Get away from here. Get away. We all got y'all.
Oh man, I love that.
Okay.
I love
All right,
that one
another
so much.
Look, another one. Yeah, and he's in between him and the next one. I'm gonna let you guys choose. So let's hear the next contender.
Back and warp from the future to be a frantic caller onto your show. I listened to you in the archive and found out poll results have a character limit. Anyways, what year is it? 2020. Oh, fuck. Now I'm trapped here with John Teeter. I can tell you that this is the year that we found out it was a virus. It's your boy. I'm out. Deuces.
All right.
Nice.
So he got two clips in there. He got the virus, which is
very well executed.
Very
we
topical.
use
also.
that. And he got it's your boy, I'm out. Deuces, one of the first clips ever. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide. Between Rob, Aaron, and Drea, what do you guys pick on that?
I don't know who's voting first.
Rob, who do you like?
I like the first one. The first one, okay? I
Yeah,
like
a lot
that.
of good ones. Okay, what about you, Aaron? What do you say?
I was also a fan of the first one.
All right, Drea, you get no opinion. No, I'll vote
I get
you.
no
I'll vote you. How
opinion.
about that?
All right, cool.
No, you do, because I can tie it up. Go,
Yeah.
Drea. What do you
All right,
have?
that's fine. Well, shit. I mean, this is gonna it's not gonna matter what the hell you say because I vote the first one too.
Hey,
And it was
All
like,
right. Yeah. All right.
I mean,
play one.
look, I just want to say that other contender did a fantastic job.
The virus.
The virus. Oh, I can't imagine
Yes.
anybody else executing it that way. But I'm sorry, the other one was jam packed, and in this case, quantity over quality.
All right, you were so close. I might send you a little something too. Not
Yeah,
something
definitely
cool,
honorable
something.
mention. They got to
You
get
the
something.
honorable
It's
mention.
honorable
Yeah,
mention,
for sure.
For sure.
All right. And that's it. That was the first ever soundboard competition. Thanks, guys.
Should we give these guys the winner?
Oh,
sound?
give
Because
them.
we got
I would
three
give
winners.
all of them.
Yeah.
We kind of know who
Play
they
it
are.
3
We know
times in a row.
So I would say anyone who won this, congratulations. You get props. And also balls.
1, 2, and balls.
All right. That's a new clip. Oh, we got a new
that's
balls.
1, 2, and balls.
I'm not used to that one.
Yeah, we're used to the balls dropping. But
I
there
was
we go.
expecting the meatball splatter one.
So congratulations, and that's it for this week's Unbelievers Voice Mailbag.
The Unbelievers Mailbag.
Ooh, right in the mailbag.
Hey man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Mailbag. The mailbag is cool. Mailbag.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time.
All right, we only have one thing left to do. Everyone's favorite talk about movie segment. What's it called, Drea?
Something about poll results?
That was Aaron playing guitar on that.
That
eh?
was Aaron playing guitar.
Honestly, I forget that.
I think I was like 20 years old when I played that. I was quite a bit younger than I am now.
Oh, good thing you weren't drinking beer at the time.
I
still doing
was
it.
definitely drunk when I recorded that. I heard Brian Frangi's call, and I was like, I could definitely do something like that.
And here it is. It still sounds great. This week's poll, though, a little different. We didn't put it on the website. This was a poll which said, which comedy would you like to watch for the next Unbelievers movie night? And the choices were Weird Science, Dracula Dead and Loving It, What We Do in the Shadows, and Coneheads. We did this a little differently. I guess I'll ask beforehand, Drea Mora, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
Well, I mean, I wish they would say Dracula Dead and Loving It, but...
All right, what about you, Rob?
It's a tough one. Honestly, I have no idea. But I'm gonna say that Coneheads is probably a front runner in this one because I think it's probably the most popular out of all of those movies.
All right, what about you, Aaron?
I can only say Coneheads because I remember seeing this poll and voted for it.
I think we're all voting for the things that we voted for right now.
So this is unique as if there's got to be any others. This was done as just a social media. We don't like to do a poll when we have a interview guest. We don't, come on.
Why would we do that?
I mean, we could, but like we just didn't. So it's like
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Yeah. This is a fun experiment instead, though. So,
but we're doing. So this is what we'll be doing for Unbelievers Movie Night this Saturday. And Saturday nights on our Discord, we do a movie night where we watch a movie. We have a lot of fun. Last week, we watched great vampire movie, Before Dawn. What was it called? Near Dark.
Near Dark. Yeah.
Near Dark. It was
Close to Sunlight.
It was a movie for sure. It was definitely a movie.
It was definitely a movie.
It was definitely
a
movie.
vampire movie.
We had fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun hanging out. But
just so you guys know, Discord is really cool. If you're not already on Discord, it's really easy to get used to. You can just mess with it a little bit. But if you go to the description of this episode that you're listening right now and just scroll down, you'll see a link to the Discord. Click that and you can join in and you can participate in the next movie
Be
night.
in the movie night.
Yeah.
And
Come hang out with us. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't be
we
dumb.
will find. We're going to find out now what we're going to be watching this Saturday. So we did this vote a little differently. We did it on Twitter and Facebook. And I'm going to give you the results of the Twitter poll. And the vote on Twitter is tied for first place between Dracula Dead and Loving It and What We Do in the Shadows is tied at 27%.
Huh.
So we must now go to Facebook for a tiebreaker because
Oh wow.
A face
I will
breaker.
say this, and you guys, a lot of you guys picked Coneheads. Coneheads and Weird Science were tied on Twitter at second place. On Facebook, Coneheads only had 2 votes. No one gave a shit about Coneheads. I don't know why.
Oh man.
So they're definitely out.
Well, you know what? It's just good. We can save it for another movie night.
What a bunch of
you know?
cone faces.
We'll
Yeah.
save it.
Yeah, we can always look. We don't need you guys. We can watch these movies whenever we want
So
to.
let's
and
get
we
to the
can
winner.
talk.
If Facebook truly has to be the tiebreaker, the winner is What We Do in the Shadows with 13 votes on the Facebook thing. So congratulations, What We Do in the Shadows. You are this week's Unbeliever Movie Night.
You just congratulated a film.
All right, we've come to the end of the program, but before we go, Drea Mora, do you have anything you would like to say or plug?
Just thank you so much for all the support we've been getting for my little stupid, less popular podcast, Spirits and Spirits. It's really been great. I love that people are actually into it. Again, we're on Spreaker, Apple, all of that, and you can follow us on Instagram at Spirits and Spirits Pod. And
Please check it out. Great
Yeah.
show. It's so fun hearing you and Jack. Definitely a very fun paranormal show with Drea. I don't know why you're not listening. Go ahead. I'm on one if you want to do that.
Go
Russ
subscribe.
is episode 6. Again, it's produced by Rob, obviously. So,
Hey.
help him
Yeah.
out. Everything. It helps all of us out. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. What about you, Aaron Shilb? You got anything you want to say or plug?
Yeah, you guys can follow my podcast, Nashville Tour Stop, anywhere you find podcasts. Or if you want to follow me on the social media, you can follow me at the Aaron Shilb. I have it the same across all platforms to make it extra easy for people to not follow me. So I've got a new song coming out at the end of the month called Millennials Are Dumb. I played that one on the Twitch a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for coming on there.
Great
by the
live
way.
stream.
Keep up to date for that.
And keep on Aaron about that Hodag stomp. What about you, Rob Oakey?
Check out the Twitch, twitch.tv/The Unbelievers Podcast. Friday nights we're on there, Unbelievers Live, watching funny videos. I've been playing some video games on there some nights. Also, check out our Discord, like I mentioned earlier. Go to the description of this episode, click the Discord link. There's a bunch of people in there. There's always some people hanging out, sometimes talking conspiracy stuff. I love seeing the community interacting with each other in there, and I love seeing random conversations pop up, and it's just really cool. So if you're into that, check it out, guys. It's really cool. And my social medias at Rob Oakey on everything.
Yeah, we'll be doing the stream on Friday night. We'll do movie night. What we do in the shadows, the winner, we doing that Saturday. And that's it. The Unbelievers Podcast hosts today were Drea Mora, Aaron Shilb, and me, Russ Ryan. Our producer and soundboard engineer is Rob Oakey. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. You can follow us on Twitter at UnbelieversPod and Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. Check out our merch store at cafepress.com/unbelieverspodcast. And thank you so much to all the patrons: J.G. Spranklin, Vic Voss, Robert Groom, Little BB, Dr. Ortega, Tyler Ventura, Adam Devora, Corrupted Mass, Michael Shields, Weary Exile, Carol Valley, Manny, MQ Ultra, CJP, Braden Hitt, Raymond Roel, Todd X, Christopher Panici, The Moon, The Judgy Moon, Mike Henry, Christ, Cronin, Bryce Berg Jr., Dawn Bright, Shannon Frigno, Tom O'Connell, Mark Braun, Donna Bance, Jenna Stevens, Cat Chaos, Jason Kelly, Mike, Brian Ashton, Michael Armenta, Jackass, Wombat Preservationist, our official composer and theme song creator and co-host tonight is Unbeliever A.A. Ron. He already plugged himself. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo is Raymond Roel. Check out his work at P. Raven Creative on Twitter and Project Raven Creative on Instagram. Our official Hawaii Bigfoot hunter is Jeremy Pascal. Our official resident Sagittarius is Cozanton. Our official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Mothman enthusiast is Michael Shield. Our official Mufon Inside Man is Christe Moraes. Our official Unbeliever Peacefully Eating a Hamburger is Michelle Durham. Our official Unbelievers Time Traveler is Taylor Nelson. Our official Ghost Hunter is Amelia Childs and Ghost Hunting in New England. Our official senior European correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official Guardian of the Bench is that Kraken Stacker. Our official Alien Bopper is Nunchuck Bob. And this week's Unbeliever Focus is Amelia Childs from Ghost Hunting in New England, which is returning very soon. And I've been trying to convince her to return to her pod for a while, but she was a bit reluctant. She did eventually agree once we told her how much she was missed. Then she responded with...
Plus, then we can make t-shirts about it and sell it.
Yeah, good night. Piñata.
I saw Hodag, and now I understand why I saw Hodag, and the Hodag saw a man. Why I saw Hodag, and the Hodag saw a man.
Discontinue! Discontinue!